Good evening, good middle of the night, good if you're on an airplane flying around the world, whatever you're doing, welcome. Welcome to the Success and Money Foundation.org. We're a nonprofit educational foundation. We teach kids, teens, young adults, and adults about success and money because most likely you're skipping those classes in school. This last couple of weeks, I taught 600 kids in high school. I taught 30 separate classes. And what I know is that we're just not teaching the real important material. We're teaching our kids how to dissect a frog, which is great. But with AI coming around, they're not going to need to know that. We need to teach them how to be successful. We need to teach them how to learn. We need to teach them about money. Now, money's not the end all, the begin all. It's not everything. It's nothing. All money does is speed stuff up and make stuff happen faster, quicker. It gives you shortcuts. You don't have to wait in line. You can get stuff done faster. You can go more places. You can meet more people. You can have a bigger impact if money is taken care of. And again, money's not good. Money's not bad. Money is, mission number one is to help those in need. Step number three is to help other people. That's very vital to what we do. So we need you to be more successful. We need your kids to be more successful. We need to make a huge difference with where you're going. But today, the first class I want to talk about riding that roller coaster. Riding that roller coaster or riding a scooter, because right now we're on that. We're on that roller coaster and and if you like roller coasters, it's fun. If you don't like roller coasters, it's terrible. As you know, I've got two special needs kids, and my second child, Ryan, um, he just loves roller coasters. Just crazy. We would go to an amusement park, and this kid would just he would just run to him, and I got to the point where we couldn't ride him any longer. So I had to literally pay my oldest daughter extra money to keep riding these roller coasters because he just loved the thrill of the roller coaster. He'd get up on these big high swings and they'd go around and around. And even to this day, if we go to a fair or something like that, I'll take him by himself because nobody can keep up with him. And he'll ride, 30, 40 rides just over and over and over and over. Now, some people like that. Some people like that roller coaster. Some people hate it. And the big thing I want you to really understand is the difference between the roller coaster and the scooter and how that all really fits with what you're doing. So what I want to do is I want to jump over here and we want to get into the loan versus own and the roller coaster and stuff like that because once you understand it, it makes a huge difference. Now remember, life's a game and games are fun. Life's a game and games are fun. Money's a game and games are fun. Finance is a game and games are fun. Business is a game and games are fun. Your job is to have some fun. We're not curing cancer here. We're not a specialist doctor. This is not life or death. It's a game. It's just a game. And if you play the game well, you get perks, you get bonuses. All of you are equating everything you do to being real. Well, it's not real. It's just not real, guys. It is different than that. It's just a game. And games are fun. So let's go have some fun with what we're doing. Okay. So now, with that being said, let's talk about the game. Let's talk about the game and how it all works. Well, first of all, I'll get out a piece of paper and a pencil because I want to talk to you about loan versus own, and I want to talk to you how you get paid riding the roller coaster versus get paid riding the merry-go-round or riding a scooter. Well, how do you get paid? Well, the big difference there is the loan versus own. So let's talk about the loan versus own. And this is very crucial about what you're doing. So you got loan versus own. Okay. So we're going to loan versus own. And we're going to use the number of 100. Now, I don't care if that's 100,000. I don't care if it's $100. I don't care if it's $100 million. We want to use that because we want to put this into percentages. Okay. So as you are out there, some of you like the roller coaster. Some of you hate the roller coaster. Some of you don't want to go to the amusement park at all. Well, some of you just want to go and eat and watch the other kids. The big difference here is loan versus own. Now, when we say loan versus own, what are the things that you're loaning on? Well, when you put money into the bank, into your checking account, you're loaning money to the bank. The bank is taking your money and they are loaning it out to someone else. If you can put it into what we call a CD, a certificate of deposit, you can get a higher rate of, you're getting zero over here, 0%. They're not paying you anything. A CD, you say, hey, I'll let you take it for 90 days. It's a 90-day CD, and we'll give you 3% on it. But if you get it out faster, if you need your money faster, then we're not going to give you the three. We're only going to give you 2%. We're going to hit you with a major penalty. If you're willing to put this up for a year, we'll give you, maybe 4%. Now, if you're doing this at the bank, they're not going to pay you anything here. They just want all your money and they're going to charge you stuff. They might do this here and they might do that there, but if you get it out early, they're going to take a percentage of that. Now, if you put that into your investment account, if you put that into investment account, then it's going to be much better for you. So if you have a 90-day CD, you can do 7 days and probably get 4.5 to 5% right now. And it's a 7 day. Okay. You can put that into a 90-day and it's probably going to be 5%. And again, they're going to look at it on a 7 day basis. Up here, if you take that money out early, they're going to whack you. But if it's an investment account, they're not going to whack you. Okay. So, and again, you just need to check the small print to understand that. But the reason we need that investment account versus a bank account is that banks are in the business of taking your money at zero and loaning it out to somebody else at a much higher rate. They're taking your money at zero and then they're turning around and renting and leasing it out, renting it out at 6, 8, 10, 21% on a credit card. That's what they do. Okay. So on the loan versus own, just be aware, where do you put it? If you put that money simply into your bank, the bank's in the business of making money off of you. That's all they do. Okay. Now, an investment account is a little bit different. So if you come over here to the own side, well, if you have a bank account, well, you don't get to own anything. All you can do is cash money, cash in, cash out. Cash and loans is all that they do. Okay. Over here on the own side, we're going to come down here to the investment. Okay. So that's the investment side. And I'm going to make that just a little bit smaller so it's a little bit easier to read. Okay. So we're going to do the investment side. Now, on the investment side, you're going to be able to own things. You can own stock. You can own crypto. You can own other things too. You can own different, and there's all kinds of ways to do that. But these are kind of the two major ways. And this is an investment account. This is a crypto account, something like Coinbase or somebody else. And that's all they do. All they do is crypto. So for most people on your own side, that's a whole separate account. This one is going to be an investment account. Now, when we talk about investment account, let's talk really about the own side on the investment account. Okay, now there's four ways that you can invest. Number one, you can pick and choose. But guess what? If you pick and choose, you lose. For the vast majority of people, you buy it the wrong time, you sell it the wrong time, you think you can time it. Well, it's a carnival game, and it's designed for you to lose. If somebody wins, somebody loses, and everybody pays a commission. Number two, you can do a mutual fund. And the only difference with that, the problem with that is you're going to pay 1 to 2% of money under management, money under management. So for every $100 you have in there, they're going to subtract two of that for their cost. If you made a 6% rate of return and they take two of it, then your rate of return is only 4%. They took 33% of your profit because of cost. Okay. And you're paying them to pick and choose. Number three is to do the S&P 500. And that's the 500 largest companies in America that are global. These companies are all over the world. They're global. And that's really good. Then number four, which is my favorite, is Berkshire Hathaway, which is we're going to talk about next, BRK, which is basically a stock. Now, the biggest difference is that there's a fee here, but the fee over here is less than 1%. It's a half a percent. They're not picking and choosing. They're not picking and choosing. They're just saying these are the 500 biggest companies by size, and they're going to be put into an index. So when you own that, you own a little bit of it. Now, Berkshire is a stock, and so there's zero money under management. There's zero. There's a small commission, but there's zero under there. And these guys act like this. And over a long period of time, if you were to look at BRK versus S&P, in my lifetime, 65 years, my lifetime, this has done about 19%, and this has done about 11% over my lifetime. Over the last 25 years and the last 16 years, then this one has still outperformed it. And I can't remember for sure what the number is, but it's like 13%, 13 versus about 11%, some kind of number, almost that. And over the last 15, 16 years, this one's done better. This has done about 14%, and this has done about 11% because this is such tech heavy. There's so much tech in that. But either one of those is a great number. Now, the big problem you guys have is you want to pick and choose. I just want to go pick and choose. I think picking and choosing would be fun. Well, it's really not. It's fun for a while, but if you're going to do it on paper. Now, here's the problem. And this is what I want you to think of. I want you to think of a roller coaster. And the roller coaster, just for ease of illustration here, we're going to say it takes a year for that roller coaster to go all the way around. So you start at the station right here, and you get in there, and it's going to come up here, and then it's going to start climbing. It's going to come around the corner, and then it's going to start climbing all the way up, high, 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 high. And that's going to go down, and it's going to go over here, and it's going to go loopy, loopy, loopy over here, and boom, 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 and it's going to do some circles and other kind of crazy stuff, and then it's going to come back in here to the station. Now, if you sit on that stock and you stay on that stock, and it comes back in the station, they pay you. Hey, congratulations, you sat on that roller coaster and it was crazy. And that roller coaster, because you sat on it, if you had $100, we're going to give you a 10% rate of return on it. You just made 10 bucks for sitting on that roller coaster. Now, that roller coaster is going to go up, it's going to go down, and it's going to go all kinds of places. Now, if you have one stock, it's going to go up and it's going to go down. It's going to go sideways. If you go to Disney World and you're actually going to go backwards on a couple of these stocks, the big Yeti ride, and it's going to be fun. And if you love that, it's going to be fun. But it's going to be this. It's going to go up and down. It's going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Why? Because of supply and demand. Supply and demand. All right. Supply and demand. Supply and demand. Now, with supply and demand, if you own one stock, it can be volatile. Why? Because supply and demand says you have stock, you have cash, you have real estate, you have crypto, and when interest rates are low, guess what? Everybody sold their stock and chased real estate. If everybody's chasing real estate and they're all chasing real estate, guess what happens to the value of real estate? Well, it's going to go up. And then guess what? When they increase the interest rates, everybody says, well, I'm not going to stay there anymore. And it went down. The supply versus demand. Okay. A lot of people want it. It's going up. They start to sell it, goes down. Okay. Very similar. Crypto's hot. I'm going to take my money out of stock or real estate and I'm going to push it over here to crypto. So now those cryptos are going up. But as soon as crypto gets some bad news and they take their money and say, I'm just going back to cash or I'm going over to real estate, then it goes the other direction. So back on this roller coaster, it's going to be kind of volatile if you own one share. If you own one share, if you own one share, it's going to be kind of volatile. You know, we call it two steps forward, one step back. Okay, and it's going to be a little bit crazy, but over time, it's going to be between 8 and 12% rate of return. Now, if you own 30 companies, some are going up, some are going down, but it's going to be more stable. You're not going to have the heroes to zeros as much if you have 30 companies. If you have 500 companies, then it's going to be more stable. And if you got Berkshire Hathaway, BRK, and again, I'm just telling you how we've invested, and we've done a lot of this investing. They've actually made really good money over the last month over this marketing crisis because they have a bunch of cash. They're sitting on a bunch of cash and they hope the market goes down like this. They hope it goes down like this because they want to come in here and buy down here. Now, the reality is that this is not, people say, well, this is Warren Buffett and his team. Well, this is a big organization. Walt Disney did not build Disneyland. Walt and Roy Disney built Disneyland. Walt and Roy built Disneyland. But more importantly, they built a team. Steve Jobs and Tim Cook built a team that built Apple. That's why when Steve Jobs passed away, the company still grew. That's why when Walt and Roy passed away, the company still grew. Well, Berkshire Hathaway is the same way. You've got Warren Buffett and team. It was Charlie Munger, he passed away, but they have this massive team. And I'm just telling you that when I don't see it going down at all, I see it doing like these other companies. I think it'll actually do kind of better because they're a lot more aggressive. They're younger. They don't have some of the same old biases. So what I'm trying to say to you is that as you're looking at the own versus loan versus own, and you're getting a little bit scared and confused and stuff like that, well, don't play the game. You've got a choice. You can get on that roller coaster, and if you just buy one stock and you're going to try and you're in the dark. This is like at Disneyland. It's Space Mountain. It's in the dark. There's music. There's stuff rolling. There's lights and all this fancy stuff that's having you watch that. And you get on Space Mountain and it's crazy. You're up, you're down, you're sideways, you're hitting, you're all over the place. Now, my son loves that stuff. I hate it. I used to like it, but I don't do it anymore. Okay, because I'm not there any longer. I'm someplace else. My world has changed. That's not my makeup anymore. So if you like that, then you can do that. But here's what I'm going to recommend that you do. I'm going to just recommend that you really look at your loan versus own. And I'm going to come all the way back up here to this big old loan versus own that we started at right there. And the big piece is, let's go down here and make it so it's easy to understand. If you're going to do that, you're going to loan versus own. And if you want to ride the roller coaster, you're going to have more money in the own side versus the loan side. Now, if you're quite young and you're under 20 or 30, I don't think I'd own very many in bonds. Now, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I would do. You have a long time to ride that roller coaster. And I don't care if it goes up. I don't care if it goes down. I don't care if it goes down for a while. In fact, I like it when it's down because we can buy more shares. My goal is to own more shares. And the value is going to increase or decrease, but you didn't lose money when the stock went down. You still have the same number of shares. You only lose when you sold it at the loss. Okay. So the big thing is that if you're gonna loan versus own, just I'm gonna take somebody in the middle, and you're saying, well, you're gonna do 30% of it here and you're gonna do 70% of it here. Well, take 10% of that and pick and choose. It's okay to do that. Take 10% of it and do crypto if you want, you know. And then take the other 25% and the other 25%, and I would do Berkshire over here, and I'd do the S&P over here. All right. Now, it's okay to do that 10% and have fun with that 10%. And then when you're smarter than the S&P 500 or everybody else, then you can increase that to 20% or 30%. But for the vast majority of people, we're not good at that. We don't have access to all this information. We don't have access to the reports. We don't spend all day doing it. Warren Buffett is going to be 95 years of age in August. He still reads 5 hours a day. He's been compounding this knowledge for decades and decades and decades. But if you're going to do that, like on your crypto, you know, take 3% of it and put it into Bitcoin. Take 3% of it and put it into Ethereum. That's okay. And then take the other 4% right here and put it into the crypto crap if you want to. This is your high flyers. Now, if you want to gamble, if you want to go to Vegas and gamble, well, here's the roulette table. There's the ball right there. And there's all these numbers right here. There's all these numbers that you can play. Okay? So there's all these different numbers that you can play. And there's 36 numbers on there. And um, a red and a black. So you got a 50-50 shot right there. And then there is a 1 to 12, a 13 to see 1 to 12 to 25 or something like that. And the last number's, 26. 30, I think there's 36 numbers. It's 13, 26, yep. And then the last one is all the way up to 36, whatever those numbers are. And you can do 1 out of 3, something like that. But here's the killer. There's a 0 and a double 0. So if you go out there and you say, well, I'm going to bet on number 13, and they spin the ball and the ball goes around and around and around and it ends someplace. Well, guess what? Even if you won, they're still going to take a commission. They're still going to take a commission out of you. So we don't gamble. We don't gamble. Okay? We just don't gamble. What we do is that we invest in a casino. And we don't invest in one casino, we invest in all the casinos. And then that casino is only a small portion of what we do. So right now, you're seeing a bunch of crazy stuff. You're seeing a lot of fear in the marketplace. Why? Because of the tariffs. Now, why is Trump doing this? Well, it's very simple. Here's the United States, here's the USA, and here is China. Okay? And a tariff is just basically an extra tax. When the USA ships stuff to China, they hit them with a tax, a tariff. And when China ships stuff back to the USA, we hit them with the tax. But the problem is that this taxes have been higher than these are. Okay? That they've been much, much higher than these are, so it's unfair here. And what Trump's trying to do is he's trying to say, hey, we want you to build in America, USA first. So instead of I'm gonna tax you so we make it even or closer to even. And he's got 90 countries that he's already renegotiated on. Because it's not only China, it's Japan, it's Taiwan, it's every country that does business does this. And he's trying to even it out. And he's trying to even it out. And he's trying to force companies like Japan that make cars in Japan. He's saying, well, if you do that and you ship them to the United States, we're going to charge you some money for it. What we want you to do, Japan, is we want you to come over to the United States and build them here. Build them here. And then you won't have to pay that tax. Then you won't have to pay that big tax. What he wants is he wants jobs in the United States. That's what he's trying to do. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to even out these things. And there's a lot of hubba bubba that you're hearing because the TV's job is to make you watch the TV and see what's going on. And everybody's doing that. So this is all the hubbub, but he's already negotiated 90 countries. And this is what everybody's looking at, but this is the results right here. And so he's evened out a lot of these tariffs that was in the favor of these other countries. And so that's going to bring more jobs back to America, which is a big deal. Um, the other stuff that's a really worries BRICS, BRICS. That stands for Brazil and Russia, India, China, and Saudi Arabia, plus about 30 plus more countries. And they're saying, hey, we don't want to use the US dollar because the US dollar, it makes the dollar strong because everybody's using it. Supply and demand, everybody demands it. And so what happens? The USA dollar is staying strong. We're saying, hey, we're gonna deal with each other. We're gonna trade with each other and we're going to avoid the USA and we're gonna make our money worth more. So that's another thing that is worrying the people in America right now. And so that's another thing that you can see that they are getting more aggressive going this other direction. The big takeaway for you is the roller coaster versus the scooter. It's right here. It's the roller coaster versus the scooter. It's the roller coaster versus the merry-go-round. Now, the big plus is that if you ride the roller coaster, you're going to get a better rate of return, 8 to 10%. Some years it's going up, some years it's going down, but over a long period of time, 10 to 15 years, okay, I believe it's a 10-year a period that the market has always had a plus 10 years. 1 year has the ability to go down. 2 years has the ability to go down. I'm not interested in 1 year. I'm interested in 10 years. Okay. So the roller coaster is going to get that. A bond or loan is going to get anywhere from 0 to 5%. Okay. And it's just a straight line. You put your money in today, and a year later, it's worth more. You put in $100 today, 1 year later, it's worth $105. You got a 5% rate of return on it. And it's just a straight line. There's no ups or downs, but it's about 5%. If you shove that money into the bank at 0, you're going to have $100. And then over here at the end, you're still going to have that $100. The problem is inflation is making everything more expensive. Your food, your utilities, your rent. Okay. And so what's happening is that if you're not getting a 3 to 5%, you're falling behind that $100 that here with inflation is only worth 97 cents. Okay. It's only worth 97 cents. It's not worth that 100. It's only worth 97 because it's losing value. This is why you've got to keep up with it. And that's why you've got to do this. So the big thing is, number one, make more money. That's where you need to spend your time and your energy. Okay. Number four is to automatically invest. Automatically invest. Now, when I say automatically, I mean automatically take money every month from there to there. Your number five is to save and spend. You can move it from there to there. The goal is to get 10 to 15% of this money up here, down here, and then automatically move it. So you don't think about it. Make the decision once and then set it up so it automatically happens. And then automatically have the 500 biggest companies or Berkshire Hathaway manage it for you. and they're taking all their time. So your time is spent up here. Your time is down here in number six. Your time is in ad, real estate, and business. Where are you spending your time? You're spending your time up here to make more money with your job, and you're spending money down here in number six, add real estate. And then you leave this money alone. Number four is to automatically invest. Number seven is similar to four. It's the wealth formula. And we're going to take money from our job. We're going to take money from our business. We're going to take money from our real estate and all of our joint ventures. And we're going to make money every month with these things. We're going to keep making money. And guess what? We're going to put that into a separate account times have it go up in value. It's going to go up in value. You can't leave it in a savings account. This is our 20-year plan. This is our game plan. Times time. And that equals wealth. That equals wealth. And guess what? That wealth goes down to the next generation. You're not doing this for you. This is going to the next generation. That's your goal. That's your goal. That's your goal is to get number seven going with long-term investments. Your job, your real estate, your businesses, all that stuff makes a profit. That money goes into a separate account. That separate account goes up in value times time equals wealth. And then your wealth is the goal is to get your wealth and get it handed down to that next generation. Okay. The most important part of that, the most important part is to teach. All right. Is to teach. It's not to teach, it's to do. Is to do. That's the key. And, just kind of in closing, you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. But if you take him fishing, don't give him the book. Don't just tell him how to fish. Let's go fishing. And you show him how to fish. And he catches a fish and you teach him how to clean it. You teach him how to cook it. He can now feed himself for a generation, for his generation. But if you can take him and encourage him to take his kids, and he actually takes his kids and teaches them how to fish, you've changed a whole generation. Our foundation is not designed for short term. This foundation is designed to outlive all of us. That's why my wife and I put millions and millions of dollars into what we call a corpus or an endowment. And that money is there. And as it makes money, we give that money away. So that is pretty exciting of what we're doing. So it's long term. So the way I think about business, the way I think about investing is the same way that I think about the foundation. My goal is to have this outlive me and to outlive all of us. And the person I'm really trying to help on, is your kids. You are whoever you are. If you're 50, 60, 70 years, you're in your fourth quarter of your life. I'm in my fourth quarter of my life. I might even be in overtime. I don't know. I could have checked out of this world in the second quarter of my life when I had that heart attack when I was 34 years of age. There's times where I was almost in a massive accident that I could have been going to college. I was in a couple car accidents that really could have taken my life. Almost got hit, just almost got ran over by this big old truck when I was in Denmark. Luckily, my dad grabbed me and pulled me back. I didn't see it. I mean, you don't know how long you're going to be on this earth, but what's your goal? What's the purpose of this goal? The purpose of this goal is for you to have a good life. The purpose of your goal is to give. The secret to living is giving. It's not obsessing and getting stuff. Now it's okay to get stuff. I mean, I'm one to talk. I got a Ferrari sitting in the garage, but I never drive it anymore. I have more fun teaching you than I do driving that dang car. The secret to living is giving. And the way we do that is we've got to give. And if you give, you get. If you give, you get. So kind of in closing, it's a roller coaster. Now, if you own 500 companies, like in the S&P 500, or Berkshire has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of companies that they own or that they are invested in. It acts like a big index fund because it's got so many companies in it. And it's been around for a long time. Those are our two favorite. And it'll be more stable. Now, in this whole big crisis, there's a lot of companies. If you invested all your money in Tesla, Tesla's down right now. But Berkshire's up. Okay. Supply and demand. Money's moving from one place to the other place. So your goal is to get long-term investments, add more money, do the wealth formula, add more money every month, every month, every month, every month. And I don't care if the market's going down. In fact, I like it because I can buy more shares. Now, the value of every one of those shares either goes up or down. Your house, the value of your house has gone up or it's gone down, but you still own the house. And when all the countries around the world start balancing their budgets and stop printing so much money and causing so much inflation, then I'll do a different strategy. So I'll do something different. They got to pay down a bunch of debt too, though. But until that happens, there's going to be inflation. And I like inflation because I own stuff because it appreciates and I make more money off of it. So you either appreciate it or you don't. It's either inflation or appreciation. And I like it because I own stuff that goes up in value. Well, that's where we're trying to get you. We're trying to get you there. And what we're really trying to do is we're trying to help have you have a better life. That's what we're here for, is to help you have a better life. And it's not about the money. Money all does is make you more of what you are. If you're giving, it lets you give more. If you're a jerk, then you become a bigger jerk if you got a lot of money. But if you're giving and loving and want to help other people, that just gives you more resources to do so. That's why that's so important. So thanks for watching, everybody. You're on a roller coaster. It's okay, ride the roller coaster. But if you invest in 500 companies, then the roller coaster is not nearly as up and down. It still has its ups and downs, supply and demand, money moving in, money moving out. But if we're buying every month, if we're investing every month and the market is down, guess what? We get to own more shares. We get to buy more shares at a lower price. The only thing I really care about is what it's going to be worth in 10 or 15 years from now. I don't really care what it's going to be worth in 15 minutes from now. So this has been Tom Painter. Thanks so much for watching. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about Berkshire Hathaway and why I like that one so much. And we're going to be right back. Make a difference. Make it happen. And remember that every life is precious. Thanks for watching.